Okay, guys, we're into part 3 now. And the next question that has come up, and I've seen people have in the comments, is during the last couple updates, we had talked about some of the packaging not being done yet and shipping in a sort of a plain brown wrapper. And a lot of people have said, how could you not have the packaging done? You know, we had all of these things with delays where there was nothing going on while we're waiting for Apple. Why couldn't you have done the packaging then? And why don't you have it now?
Yeah, so the packaging is always the last thing done in a project because the packaging in this case is likely going to be a clamshell which fits. A clamshell is, I'm sure you guys have seen it, it's a plastics transparent um, mylar which conforms to the whatever the product is. So you need to have the exact tolerances on everything and the exact measurements on everything that you're going to put into that clamshell. So if we would have done this 6 months ago or something, we would have wasted money on the tooling to make that clamshell. So clamshell is something that can happen very quickly as far as making it is concerned, but it's something that it's the last thing you order.
All right. So now we come in to one of the very biggest questions that has come out.
Okay.
Particularly in light of Mophie's announcement of a case with onboard memory where they have two versions, a 16 gig with for $150 and a 32 gig with at $180.
Yeah, right.
But you haven't been able to say how much memory we're giving to the backers for free, not asking for an additional amount of funding. And since most people paid between $70 and $80 in their pledge, right, no matter what was included, it's half of what Mophie's pricing is going to be,
yeah,
no matter what. But why aren't you telling us and committing to memory yet? If we're this close to the finish line, isn't that something you should know already?
Yeah, maybe that I should know it. I don't think so though. I'm trying to get in especially in light of the fact that I've screwed up so much on the deadlines. And again, if I didn't say it before, I'm sorry for that. I truly am. My intention was not ever to mislead anybody. I'm trying my hardest to get this out. I have tremendous pressure on me to get this out. I'm trying my hardest to do it. Anyway, the memory is something that I think that originally we didn't need to include memory because it was your own micro SD card that you were going to be using. So now that we have to include the memory, this is another expense that comes out of our pocket. I am working with a memory supplier to give us a deal on memory that we can give to the backers. I know at this point it's a minimum of 16 gig, but I'm hoping, quite frankly, to get more than that. I don't know what we're going to be able to do yet. As soon as I know, I will let everybody know.
But there's an established minimum. It will not be less than 16 gigs.
Right. It won't be less than 16
So you will
gigs.
not get anything less than what Mophie will have.
That's right. And so then if you take the price of the Mophie, which you really said already, but if you take the price of the Mophie that they're, again, supposedly going to come out with, that would be $150, which is...
I don't think anybody doesn't believe that Mophie is going to come out with it, Charlie. I think that a lot of people aren't convinced we're going to come out with it.
Okay, fine. Yeah. I'm not saying that Mophie's not going to come out with it. I just... well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think they're gonna come out with it, but I'd be surprised if it was in that in the time frame that they're talking about, and I don't think it's a comparable product.
Okay.
My opinion.
So, the memory question sort of also rolls now into a whole issue, a little bit back to money, of if you really believe that it's such a small minority of people who don't like the product or can't use it anymore and want to opt out and get a refund,
Yeah.
A lot of people are pissed that you're only giving them or only considering offering a 50% refund. So if you're so confident that it's such a small majority of people, why aren't you willing, number one, to give them their money back right now today? And why aren't you willing to give them more than 50% sometime in the future?
Because I don't know for certain. I know that 6 months ago, there was even by if you went by the
that straw poll that the backers put up.
Exactly, the backer poll. There was, I don't remember the number, but there was a very small number of people relative to the 2000 who wanted out and wanted their money back.
Don't you think it's probably more people now that we've missed our next deadline, the one that we set after we got the MFI?
Yeah, I do, which leads into my response here. If I knew today that there were 30 people that wanted 100% of their money back, I would commit to that. But I don't know how many people today, since we've continually blown deadlines, are going to want their money back. There is no money left from the Kickstarter original Kickstarter backers, and we're at over $100,000 over budget. So all that would come directly out of my pocket. If 2,000 people came to me, which I don't think it's going to be, but if 2,000 people came to me and said we want 100% of our money back, I don't have it. So everybody funded this idea. Yes, it's taken a long time to get to where we are today, much longer than we thought. If I were going to do this over again, I wouldn't commit to deadlines like I have unless I knew for certain that we were going to hit those deadlines. This leads into something else that's important. So when I get these delays, when I'm notified of these delays, and when I'm aware of these delays, you got to understand it's not me sitting at an engineering bench with a soldering iron and designing circuits. Okay, there are lots of people involved in this, and we have our manufacturing facilities, volume manufacturing facilities in China. We have most of the components coming from China. We have engineering locally in our Chicago office, but we also have, because of the MFI requirements, we have an engineering team in Colorado. We have a mechanical engineer that's local in Chicago. So all these people need to interface and communicate and get back and forth in touch with each other. And when there's a delay on something, a lot of times my team will go, which they're responsible to answer to me, they'll go radio silent on me, because it's at a point a lot of times where, okay, do I take Charlie's call and talk to him for an hour and waste time, or do I continue working on this issue, which I think an hour will really help us get past or into deeper so that I know more? And I think you tend to make a mistake, and I've made the mistake, where I haven't communicated as much with people because it's, okay, I know that this is going on, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on. And if I take all the time to mention all of that, then it's going to take an hour away or 2 hours away or 3 hours away, especially if I have to write it, which is not my forte, which is why I'm working with Denny. But if I take all that time to update everybody, then I'm delaying things further, which is going to end up pissing off people more. So I have defaulted to trying to just get the thing done as opposed to spending much time on updates, which is really why, I know this is a long answer, but it keeps leading into things. It's really why I haven't been the one that's been communicating with you guys. So what I try and do is, in a burst mode, communicate with Denny. Denny came to me and volunteered as a backer that she wanted to understand the delays and what was going on and why we were doing this, that, and the other thing, because I think she believed in the project. and she has a background in technical writing, and I don't. Um, I can write a good email, I can write a good description, but it's not my forte. Denny can whip stuff out very quickly. So it's more efficient for me to just explain whatever I need to explain to Denny and what's going on, and then have Denny relay it to you guys. It's taken a huge burden off me. And I think going forward, there's been some things that have been lost. I think that the backers have thought that I'm nowhere to be found and I'm out vacationing somewhere or whatever. But I think that going forward, maybe we'll do this video so that you guys can understand that I am intimately involved in this. I'm just because you don't see me, don't think, or I've gone radio silent on you and I'm not directly answering things on Kickstarter or whatever, don't think that I'm not, please don't think that I'm not involved in this thing. It's intimately, my involvement is intimate with this, and there's nothing more important going on with me right now.
Okay. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
And I think it goes into the perception issues. And when we do talk, because we're going to try to put out an update, or you just want to let me know what's going on.
Yeah.
Almost every single time that we've talked, the first thing that happens is you tell me, I say, well, how come I don't have a prototype? Or why, where are things standing right now? And every time we talk, there's been another delay, and there's another problem. And you're always like, well, it's no big deal. We're just going da-da-da-da-da-da. And I want to choke you, because it seems like even when you and I talk, that these kinds of delays don't bother you.
That's a valid accusation. I guess I have two choices. I can either internalize this and throw up every hour, or I can focus on the finish line. And for my mental sanity and my family's and everyone else's, I've chosen to focus on the finish line. So when the delays come up, and they do, and when there's issues that come up, I focus on the solution to those, and I belittle it in my head, saying, okay, this is a delay, it's no big deal, we're going to get through it, and I focus on the solution. If I ever did come across something that said, oh crap, this is a non-starter. I mean, we're done. We have an issue that it's going to kill the project. I would certainly address that. But there has been nothing that we have come across that isn't standard everyday engineering issues. You got to understand that there's when you see a product at Best Buy, or you see any product anywhere that you've bought or that you own, there are thousands of hours of engineering that have gone into those products. Regardless of how simple they seem, there's thousands of hours that have gone into those. And Caterpillar, for instance, is my largest customer, and they have delays on their projects all the time.
So are you just incapable of making anything on time?
No. What I guess I'm incapable of is accurately predicting when things are going to be finished. On time is defined by the deadlines that I have self-imposed. What I'm not very good at is imposing deadlines that are apparently realistic, and I'm sorry for that. I have every time that I've given a deadline, it has been based on the information I have at the moment, and based on that information, the deadline, I truly believe in my heart, is something that we will meet or exceed, and it hasn't been that. And I don't have an excuse for that. It's just that there are unknowns that you don't know until you know them.
Okay. we are going to wrap up here. We will have one other video that will come up later today, or
Tonight, probably.
we'll probably shoot it tonight. I don't know when we'll be able to get it up. Where we're going to have the some of the prototype components that Charlie brought with him here, and we'll be able to shoot some images and video of them so you guys can actually see what is here. We didn't have them before because the engineer brought a bunch of these parts with him, so we just sort of got all of those things in our hands, or you did, I guess, not me, yesterday. So, is there any parting that you have right now that you want to say to everybody while we're ending this one before we wind up doing the show and tell?
Yeah, first of all, I think you guys will be excited to see the parts when we do the show and tell later. It'll be, there's some production tooling there that has been done, and you can see the end result of your hard-earned money and where it's gone. But all I can say now is that I apologize. I'm sorry for the delays that I've caused and the heartache that I've caused you guys, and my lack of communication, which has caused you people to, or some of you people to think that I've, absconded with your money.
Well, about that money.
Yeah. What's that?
The people who are talking about refunds and who want to be able to get out of the project.
Yeah.
Who think that they ought to be able to get all of their money back.
Yeah.
Why aren't you giving it to them?
Well, I mean, we just kind of went over this, but the money, there's no money to give them right now. And again, if I knew that there was only 30 people who wanted their money back, I would give it to them. But I don't know how many people are at the point where they want to get 100% refund right now. And I don't want to commit to something that I can't.
Why are you only willing to give them back half?
Half is a stretch, to be honest with you. The money's gone, so even half is coming out of my pocket, but I believe that this is a financially viable product. I have lots of reasons to believe that besides my own internal thoughts. You guys backed this because you thought it was a great product. I still think it's a great product. There's still people that are approaching me daily that say, wow, this is so cool, when can we get it? So, the money can't come from my pocket right now for refunds because there's nothing in my pocket. But when this thing takes off and starts generating some money, then at that point I can give, I'm comfortable committing to a 50% refund. But quite frankly, refund means giving people money back from the original pool. Well, the original pool of money is gone, so there's really nothing to give back. And as you know, as I've said ad nauseum, we're well over budget. So, I mean, that's the reason why.
Okay. All right, we're going to end here, guys, and we will be back later.
Thanks.